don't have any dive potential technically on the Leslie. The only one who could really dive and be that threat is Yui on the Kufra, which is a hit or miss. We all know how risky the Kufra is. If she can't find that Tanner's Revenge into the Leslie's going to be free hitting, and if you have a free hitting Leslie dealing true damage front to back, it's going to be really tough.
And that matchup in the gold lane, even in the late game though, if they can go for a neat front-to-back team fight, Carry has a lot more DPS, because a huge part of why Leslie is just so dangerous is when your squishy heroes on your team are exposed, she can just chunk them down with that true damage. But if Impunity just play it perfectly and just make sure they stay in formation, it's going to be very difficult for Shinoa to do so without exposing herself to a lot of the damage and crowd control that Impunity has in their hands. And look at this glue pick already coming up very, very strong. Pre-level 4, I think, this glue is just such an oppressive hero.
Yeah, I mean, the Lapu can't really do anything until he hits that power spike in, level 4, right? Bravest Fighter is when she can actually utilize some damage to actually look for the all-ins. But like we mentioned, in lane, Shinoa is going to have an okay time actually up against Zana, outranging her, dealing some damage in. Keishi rotating as well with the quad shadow. Gets the, shadow kill in, but Zana with a very good flicker to get out of that one. Keishi now with no shadow kill. And with the positioning in that bottom lane, Impunity will have more to say in the first turtle take.
Yep, converging on this turtle, and it seems like Omega still wants to try and contest it. That might be a mistake.
No retribution on board. That's going to be the retribution from Yui here. That's the Bravest Fighter to actually escape, but that's the split connecting, and it's first blood over to Impunity.
Moshi just jumps on her back, following Ayanami all the way to her own orange buff. And actually, you can see that it's a bit of a trade here. Impunity actually loses their own orange buff, but look at this play here.
Oh man, Amore going to be caught again. Has the Cult Altar to buy a little bit more time, but is going to lose all of the Cult Altar HP under the tier 2. Ayanami here from the XP lane coming in. That's a shadow kill as well. Zana still able to escape for a bit, but Keishi with the high and dry gets it. The now blast charged in onto 2 members right now, and that's a kill over. Ayanami is massive here as he jumps in, finding a double kill. Moshi still on top of her, still trying to get out now with a slam pass. Does get out, gets stunned up by a bit, but there's not enough damage to really get the kill down.
Overall, Omega Smart comes out on top there, man. They entered that fight with a man down, essentially, and they're still able to just get that massive Numenon blast coming in, and Murray just sets that up so well. So unfortunately for Impunity, their early game aggression hasn't really worked out, but keep in mind, Keishi spent so much time in the bottom lane, so maybe in the jungle division, in the jungle department, Impunity can still have a bit of an advantage. The replay here coming in, that big Numenon blast just hits all 3 members from Impunity, and just like that, it just gets turned around using that Bravest Fighter we were talking about.
Well, even though the compositions have been quite literally the opposite, Arashi, of what we predicted, Omega having a little bit more early game presence, the way they play is still according to our analysis, right? Impunity with the early invade, still looking for the early snowballs. Meanwhile, Smart Omega Empresses, they're taking their time actually to set up for a lot of these takes. They don't force a lot of these crazy engages. They were caught in that turtle side, turtle pit. Shinoa, though, still buying a lot of time. Actually, Yui is going to be baited in. Amore rotating down with Mirai, but Zana has taken a whole lot of gold from that turret shield. 4 minutes in, still, it's Impunity actually losing out in gold. Smart Omega are looking for more here on the turtle.
And you can see Moshi just trying to contest that 1v2, but look at the Numenon blast coming in on 3 people, as Keishi will be able to secure the turtle. And Omega Smart here just have all the control, and they might get 1 more kill on top of this.
Uh-oh, Moshi with the split. That's Tyrant's Revenge. Not the raise just yet. Claps. Not finding anyone. Moshi in the bush. Keishi looking for the quad shadow. Jumps back away, jumps back in, finishing Moshi off. Doesn't have the shadow kill to really go for more here, but it's already such a good play from Smart Omega Empress. Amore jumping in with the Shadow Stampede there. Hana going to be able to get out with the black shoes. But both teams disengage. It's still just a 2,000 gold lead for Smart Omega.
Murray is just in the right place at the right time. Every single time there's a big engagement. And look at here, there's a movement being made by Omega Smart to try and make the play happen. But Ui on this Kufra has not been able to find a lot of success. And I think that they're trying so hard to set something up here.
Oh, that's the shadow kill. Hana going to be dove on. The killing spree picked up. And that's the snipes from Shinoa. Just to poke them down. They have the range advantage, and they certainly will be able to take the structure down. Tier 1 gonna be falling as well. 2 turrets to Smart Omega's name. The setup game so far has been impeccable from Smart Omega.
It just seems like Impunity has a bit of an advantage, but then they overstay. They're unable to get the kill quickly and decisively, and using that time, Smart Omega are able to just prepare a counter-engage using the Numeron Blast as well as the Cult Altar. They can just buy so much time, and it just makes it very difficult for Impunity to try and get any aggression going.
Uh-oh, bottom lane, pick off. This is what we're seeing right now as Murray is actually able to disengage, and now Blast charged in, flickers forward, finding Yui. Yui still in the midst of it all right now as Yaman is trying to go in for the back line, jumps into the Bravest Fighter with Keishi, and that's a kill over. Ayanami with a massive Bravest Fighter, and also just some snipes going in to poke Zana down, even canceling her recall.
2k gold difference, but it does seem like Smart Omega, they're just able to outlast the majority, the bulk of the damage coming in from Impunity right now, as Moshi goes in 1v4. That's a bit too much damage.
Oh, the split though. She's all good. She gets out, but the first turret... she actually jumps back in with the split. The Bravest Fighter again by Yanami. Still trying to find some more. Moshi in the midst of it all, going to be falling down to the true damage from Shinoa, as it's a bit too much. Ayanami with a flicker out. Hana still looking to take the pressure back for this turtle take. Third turtle of the game going to be contested. Yui 2 levels below of Keishi. The contest comes in. Nope. That's the bouncing ball. Basically saying... you know, shoving Keishi out.
Zoning him away from the neutral objective. Impunity finally finds a bit of a pickup here, but now they're setting up for a turret dive. Would that be enough though, as Murray again just denies that play altogether by being in the right spot, denying any kind of dive towards the back line. So Impunity, they have to try and start matching Smart Omega and how they want to set up. They need a front to back and match and maybe try and go toe-to-toe against Shinoa, just trying to trade DPS, because Zana does have an advantage in that department.
Murray is, well, so far the MVP in my opinion, right? She's just been everywhere on the map, constantly providing that vision for the team, and obviously also the setups that have just been impeccable. These Numenon Blasts have been connecting on the prio targets really well. Shadow Stampede again by Amore, bringing Yui back into the turret range. Keishi is 2 levels ahead of the enemy jungler. Pops in the quad shadow, getting out. Ayanami now, still in the midst of it all, using the Bravest Fighter to buy some time, but it's going to be taunted back up. That's Numenon Blast charged in. The flicker as well, only connecting onto the jungler. The Cult Altar has been popped. It's an all-out fight here as the Shadow Kill will be placed in, only to the glue. Still though, Moshi is going to fall. That's the passive from the Faramis, dealing a whole lot of damage to the split.
In addition to just the counter, right, the Faramis against the glue split, we see that Moshi was going for the Dominance Ice very early on, so without any magical defense, that's just a lot of damage. Every time the split is being used, you see her getting chunked down to half HP almost instantly, and that is something that Smart Omega has definitely planned out, and now they still have the advantage when it comes to structures. Already taking 2 turrets down, they can start to try and make more invades happen here, or maybe just play around for this mid turret.
The mid turret can be, you know, just the option for them to take. They can also just play with the waves to try to force a Lord fight, right? I think Smart Omega, they're really comfortable in the team fights right now. Shinoa is in a very comfortable spot. 1-0 and 6 on the Leslie on Weapon Mastery, right? Carry, sure, she scales, but I think right now Shinoa is scaling a bit better, even having a level advantage. You can kind of assume that she has a gold lead too, considering Smart Omega are still 2,000 gold ahead, about to be 3K though.
If you consider the fact that there's so much more burst damage coming in from Omega Smart, later on, when Moshi comes in with a split, she's going to get bursted down by Amore, as well as the true damage coming in from Shinoa. This effectively means that Impunity, they're almost guaranteed to lose one of their frontline members, and that's a very difficult thing to try and adjust and play around with, especially because Amore now has that Lightning Truncheon. That's a lot more burst damage that Impunity doesn't really have an answer for just yet. Ui does have the Athena shield right now, but it won't really be enough to deal with the rest of the team as well.
Bravest Fighter up top. Moshi pops in the split, but it just gets Ayanami back to almost full HP. She has the Bloodlust Axe, so she can actually sustain pretty easily here. Moshi, even though she's unkillable, can't really have any kill pressure. Zana, though, flickers out of that one. Ui gonna be caught in, and that's gonna be Keishi who picks up the monster kill. It's another pick off of the high and dry. Mirai still here, gonna be taunted up with Amore as well. Shinoa still free hitting in the back line. As he praises Wrath, actually taking all the Cold Ultra HP, but Ayanami in the back line with the bravest fighter jumps in. Yui's gonna be caught as well, and Amore picks that kill up. It's a 3-for-0.
Again and again, Impunity try and go for aggression, but they get baited out by Omega Smart due to the Cult Alter, due to all the clutch control available. They thought that the Luminon Blast was no longer a factor, but the bravest fighter by Ayanami just wreaked havoc in the back line. And Impunity, they are still a front-to-back composition. When the back line gets boosted down like that, they just cannot win the fights. They have to try and curb the aggression coming in from Omega.
It all comes down to Zana. If she's able to actually get these hits down, Shinoa going to be caught. Flickers out to safety. It's a good bait over from Omega as Ayanami again is still able to survive with 1 HP. And Keishi is going to go mad with a shadow kill under the turret. Zana so low. Hana forced to pop in the black shoes. That's a lot of damage placed in onto Amore. Flickering out to safety here. Keishi's still looking for it. She still has the Quad Shadow back in, but she decides to go for the purple buff. She has a massive lead in terms of the XP department. 2 levels ahead still. And they just disengage. Again, this is the Filipino style that we've been talking about, Rashi.
It's just very clean, very fundamental, but it works. Now with the Lord that they picked up in the middle of all that chaos, they're going to try and play calculatively, try and get the pickoffs going on. And whoa, that's a big engagement. Will that be enough though?
Only to Mirai though. Amore brings her back in with the Cold Ultra 2, and the Moonlight Blast is popped in, forcing the flicker from Moshi. And just like that, no more backline threat. Yui getting poked down by the true damage from Shinoa as they constantly just march in. And what? Where did Hana go? She disappeared under the base turret from the true damage and obviously from the Faramis. But my goodness, she got bursted down. This is the new Faramis as well, where she just does so much burst. It's honestly, you don't expect it.
You don't see it coming at all, and this is the difference, right? Omega Smart has so much more burst damage, and Impunity is struggling to make sure that the fights go on long enough for their DPS to make a difference. And to make things even more difficult, there's a lot more threat, a lot more pressure towards the back line. Zana is not having a good time at all. Right now, with the core items here, the Corrosion Sight and the Golden Staff, it's pretty okay, but with only a Wind of Nature, the burst mythical damage is still there.
The combos are unreal. The zoning Numenon Blast. Actually, Yui wasn't able to really help out the other Yui, right? I mean, holy moly. Smart Omega, they're just really good at even just isolating the enemy targets with their AoE abilities.
Shinoa with the Endless Battle completed as well, even more true damage, even onto Yui here. It's just causing chunks of 1.3, 1.4k true damage, and that is not something you can keep up, you can keep accepting and tanking for a long time. But even then, they know their limits. Even though they have a man advantage here, they're just happy to control the jungle and make sure that they don't make a mistake. They played very calculatively, and this is that fundamental style that we've been highlighting the whole time since the beginning.
Moshi getting out with the slam pass, but the Numenon Blast comes in, and that's the Quad Shadow actually following through. Godlike picked up by Keishi. Yui tried to use the bouncing ball to get out there, but the poke and the damage just keeps on coming in. Ayanami now there. Oh my goodness, Hana gets sniped down. The true damage is massive. Base turret number 1 falling down in the top lane with the bottom lane as well now as Yui tries to go for the rage, but gets bursted down by Shinoa. One more hit is all it takes for Zana to fall, but they will not be able to find it just yet. They jump in one more time before cracking the base wide open to secure their first match in MWY.